last night. Our katha ended in that place. Well, Lord Brahma, he was asking many questions to Lord Vishnu. Very inquisitive, inquiring, wanting to know. Tell me. He inquired about what is Adi Shakti. Who is Adi Shakti? And then he inquired, did Adi Shakti, did she take a form? What was the first form that she took? And named this form. And where did she take this form? And so she took this form in Swargalok, in the abode of the Devatas. And she took the form of Mata Saraswati, the goddess of wisdom, the goddess of intelligence, the goddess of music, the goddess of speech. Can you imagine? If for one day you can't speak at all, what will life be like? Hello? If for one day you cannot speak, what will life be like? If for one day you have lost the ability to use your phone and to type on WhatsApp and to communicate in any way, what will life be like? What is life going to be like? She takes the form of Mata Saraswati in the heavens, in Swargalok, the abode of the Devatas. Jai 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 Shri Saraswati Mata. Jai 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 Shri Ramarati Jai Jai Shri Saraswati Mata. Lord Brahma, hearing this, understanding that the first form that she took was Mata Saraswati, and the first place she dwelt was in Swarga, and she became his consort. Now he is even more inquisitive. Tell me, did she manifest on the earth in Manush Roop? What is Manush? What is Manush? Manush Roop. Have you ever heard that word before? Manush? What is Manush Roop? The bhajan says, Manush tan nahi barambar, Manush tan nahi barambar, O Manush tan nahi barambar. What it says? Jab Yamraj parang chali bete, O Jab Yamraj parang chali. Once you have taken the form of Manush, there is only one certain thing, you know. Jab Yamraj, you will meet with Yamraj. Jab Yamraj parang chali. And wherever you are, sitting, lying, standing, talking, driving, moving, Yamraj is going to come. And when he comes, what will happen? You will? Have you given thought to that? Don't think about that. When you're dead, you're dead. While you're alive, think about being alive and enjoying existence. Did she ever take the form of Manush? Manush means a human form. Tell me about the first human form that Adi Shakti, this Devi, took. Which form do you think this will be? What form do you think it is? Listen, the Katha begins to tell us. Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma, 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 Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma. Sing it everybody. Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma, Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma, Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma, Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani sing. Sing with me this evening. I want to hear you sing. I want you to sing with love from your heart to the Devi, the Divine Goddess. Sing with me. Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani, Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani, Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani, Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani. You know, when I'm not hearing well on this speaker, I say to Rakesh, turn up my volume. Rakesh, have any way you could turn up their volume? Sing with me, everybody. Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani, Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani, Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani, Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani, Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma, Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma, Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma, Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma. Sing with all your love. Jai Jai Ambe, Jai Jai Ambe, Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma, Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma. Clap your hands now. Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma, 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 Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma. Om Ya Kunde Tutusharahara Davalaya Supravasravitaya Veenavardanda Mandarikaraya Sveta Parvasana Ya Brahmachutar Shankara Pravitave Deve Saravandita Samam Paptu Saraswati Bhagavate Nishesha Jadyapam Om Aim Saraswati Namah Sri Paramatmani Namah Namaschandika Namah रानी पुरुषोती का उत्तर करने वाले पति राजा का दक्ष करने वाले देख और बीतते का पल करेंगे चांतिर हो। उन्होंने का दक्ष के पिता का भगवान ब्रह्मा का संपत्ति क्या होते हैं सलाह का उन्होंने का इसलिए देवी का परशक्ति ध्यान करेंगे जय जय अम्बे भवानी माँ 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 जगदम्बा माता की जय। I want to begin by asking some questions. The first question is, Uncle Kumar, what kind of day did you have? A good day? Can you remember how much people you met today? Everybody? Can you remember everybody? I want to ask you an easier question. Can you remember how much words came out of your mouth for the day? Were they all good words? You can't, well, you're in prayer, so I didn't expect you to lie. He said no. You're in Yagna, you shouldn't lie. But can you remember every word that came out of your mouth? Can you remember every action that you performed throughout your lifetime? Every action? Can you remember? Would you remember? Can you remember? Rukmin? Mama, can you remember? Ari, can you remember? Listen, Lord Brahma, who is the God of creation, is asking questions, and every answer that comes pertains to him. And he is asking as though he doesn't know. Why is he asking? He's not asking on his own accord, but he's asking for the benefit of you and me. He's asking for our benefit, so that we would learn and we'll be able to receive out of what is being said. Lord Brahma says, tell me about the form that she took as Manush, as a human being down on the earth. And he says at one time, there lived a Rani whose name was Purusuti. And Purusuti, she was married to Raja Daksha. Daksha Prajapati was his name. And so both of them, they had a great yearning, a great desire to have a pious daughter. Not a child, but a pious daughter. This was their desire, this was their wish. उन होने का दक्ष पिता करने देखो और भगवान ब्रह्मा का संपत्ति क्या होते. Daksh, having this desire, he went to his father. And who is the father of Daksh Prajapati? He was none other than Lord Brahma himself. Listen to this. He was none other but the son of Brahma himself. And so Daksh Prajapati, having this desire together with his queen, they made their way to Brahma Lok, praying to Lord Brahma and asking, how would we be able to get a beautiful, pious daughter? And so Lord Brahma is about to instruct. What will he say? Listen. Lord Brahma gave the instruction to Raja Daksh and Purusuti. He says, if you want a divine daughter, pious and noble, powerful, then why don't you pray to Adi Shakti? And he describes what Adi Shakti looks like. For he has met with her through the form of Mata Saraswati. Pray to her. And so Daksha, hearing this, together with his Rani, immediately they take off their robes and they take off their jewelry and they renounce the kingdom and they now declare that they're going to worship, they're going to pray. Listen to what it says. They renounce the kingdom in order to pray. Baba, can we have the puja? But it had to be a Saturday or a Sunday because we work in whole week. It is true, Bhagwan, you have a work. You didn't know? It is through His grace, through His daya, through His kripa, you have a job. And we don't say a job, we say a work. Nobody had to invite you to take a day off for carnival. You did that on your own. Nobody had to invite you to take a day off for Valentine's. You did that on your own. Nobody had to invite you to take a day off to go to a party and a beach and a line. But the minute you hear puja, you can't take any time off. I have to work all of a sudden. You're the best employee. The employers will tell you that people stay home from work for petty, insignificant things. And when significant things are happening, they take no time. They pay no heed. Daksha and Purusuti, they renounce the kingdom, taking off their robes and taking off their jewelry and detaching themselves totally to pray. When we sit to pray, we have to detach ourselves from everything and everybody around us. And we have to think solely about Bhagwan. But when we sit down to pray, you know what we have to do? Isn't it? Pull out the mirror. You have to watch your face. That's what the ladies do. I see them all the time. It is better to look ugly on the outside than to be ugly on the. I have news for you. Whether how beautiful you are, somebody will still consider you to be not so beautiful. Whether how perfect you are, somebody will still find a fault with you. They can't even dream of doing what you do, you know. But they could find all the faults with you. Is that true? Shake your head like this. Is that true? Daksha and Purusuti, they drop their robes, their silken robes, and they take off their jewelry and they renounce the kingdom. And they go into the forest, into the band. Not just in the forest, they go into the deep forest. And going into the deep forest to meditate upon the divine goddess. They did not think about weather. They did not think about food. They did not think about luxury. They did not even think about the animals that lived in the forest. Or they did not even take weapons to protect themselves. They went with the intention of God and prayer. And anytime we have that very same intention, we are protected. Have you given thought to that? We are protected. The Ramayana says, Goswami Tulsidas Ji says, you know what he says in the Ramayana? Listen to what he says. Mangal Bhavanaya Mangal Hari Draba Usuda Sarata Ajira Bihari Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Jai Rama Shri Ram Jai Rama Jai Jai Rama. Sing with me, everybody. Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Jai Rama Shri Ram Jai Rama Jai Jai Rama. He writes, Prabhisi Nagara ki jai sab kaja Hidaya hara ki kosar pura raja Mangal Bhavanaya Mangal Bhavanaya Mangal Hari Draba Usuda Sarata Ajira Bihari Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Jai Rama Shri Ram Jai Rama Jai Jai Rama. He says, intelligent is that being Pravisi Gar ki jai sab kaja hite hiraki ko sar pura raja. Intelligent is that being who puts God first and walks behind, allowing Bhagwan, allowing God to be the lead and you being the follower. We live in a world among many people who want to lead. But a leader only leads by his Munila. The leader only leads by what? His what? Example. A leader only leads by his example. And so, leaving, renouncing everything, going into the forest, they begin to meditate. But this is not easy. Adi Shakti tests them many times. At one time, she sent rain, thundering rain. At one time, she flashed the lightning to create fear. At one time, the thunder rumbled in the most scariest way. And so she created all kinds of disturbances to frighten them. At one time, they started hearing the wild animals making noise and reacting to frighten them. But they remain fixed. And remaining fixed, what will happen? Something happens. Durege, 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 Jai Jai Ma. Durege, 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 Jai Jai Ma. Durege, 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 Jai Jai Ma. परमात्मने नमः। तेजो रूप का महाशक्ति का वर्णन होते, देखो शक्ति का ध्यान रहते का सारी में लाल लाल कर करने वाले, देखो रातों की जगदम्बा की स्मरण होते के कवच मुक्त करने वाले, पार का उन्होंने का भक्ति का स्वभाव करने वाले रे महाशक्ति का प्रकट होते, देखते का भगवती माता की अश्वार होते। जगदम्बा माता की, जगदम्बा माता की, जगदम्बा माता की। It says, one day, when they least expected it, the Devi appeared in front of them as a vision. And appearing there as a vision, she appeared as though she had 1,000 arms. She appeared holding infinite weapons in these arms. She appeared wearing a bloodshot red sari and having beautiful ornaments. and beautiful gems shining, appearing holding a golden armor and the most beautiful crown that there were no words to describe. And pleased with their devotion, she stood in front of them and she said, "There is no need to ask. I already know why you called me. There is no need to ask. I already know why you called me." And so she says, "I will come as your daughter, but there is a condition. I will come as your child, but there is a condition." Do you know, nobody does anything for nothing anymore? There is always a condition, isn't it? Shake your head like this. Even you too, isn't it? Shake your head like this. There is always a condition. There is always some kind of expectancy of what we could get in return. The divine goddess says, "I will come as your daughter, but there is a condition." And she's giving this condition and she says, "Let this be your warning." Have you ever been warned before? Have you ever been warned before? You were warned in the past that if you did not wear a mask, you will get? What that rhyming? You were warned in the past to wear a mask. Or else you'll get? Ishwar said dead. But we were given the warning. But did we heed the warning? Only when fear is instilled, then the warning is observed, isn't it? Only when there is fear and fear is instilled, then the warning becomes powerful, potent. And if there is no fear created, then chances are we would not heed the warning. And sometimes we have to burn to learn. Do not touch the hot oven, you will get? Do not touch the hot oven, you will get? You touch the hot oven one time and you never touch it, huh? Oh. But you had to burn first. You had to experience what it feels like to be burnt. And to experience that pain, to know that you never want to experience that pain again. With a stern voice, she says, "Let this be my warning. I'm going to appear as your daughter in your kingdom. But what? Listen to what it says. Jai Narayani, Jai Jai Durge, Jai Jai Ambe Namo Namah. Jai Narayani, Jai Jai Durge, Jai Jai Ambe Namo Namah. Narayani, Jai Jai Durge, Jai Jai Ambe Namo Namah. लेकिन बता दे ही रूपा भगवती दे माता अपरंपारः देखः पारः रूपः दार स्वरूपा सब कह देखी हमेशा देखी पुरुषोती कह देने माँ जय रुद्राणी जय जय दुर्गे जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः शिवते जय नारायणी जय जय दुर्गे जय जय अम्बे नमो sing with me everybody जय नारायणी जय जय दुर्गे जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः. She says, I'm going to appear, and taking my form, I will take a form befitting your daughter. But when I come, If ever I am mistreated, then I will flee from your kingdom. I will flee from your home. How can we mistreat Devi Mata? Hello? How can we mistreat Devi Mata? Long ago, having in our home, we had pictures of the deities. Can you all remember that? On the bedi, we will put the pictures to do the puja. Can you remember that? Hardly anybody had murtis. Is that true? And we relied on those pictures to communicate, to visualize, to connect through the picture. Auntie Chan, when she was growing up in her living room, she had a picture of Lord Shiva. And one day she asked her father, who is that? And the father says, that's Papa God. Tell Papa God anything. Ask him for anything. And if I can't give you, he will give you. In Nigel's home, there was a picture of the goddess Mother Lakshmi standing with 2 elephants on the side. And they will pray to her. In our home, there was a picture of Lord Hanuman holding a mountain. I think in every Hindu home, there was that picture of Lord Hanuman holding the mountain. Isn't it? But then we got murtis. And you know what we started to do? We started to put murtis in every corner and every place, that even over the kitchen stove, where you chunking thing that could run out from the butt. And all the fumes going on the murti. How can we disrespect Bhagwan God? Listen. How can we disrespect Bhagwan? We made the prayer room, the altar, under the step. The old people in the olden times never permitted you to perform worship under the house. Did you all know this? They never permitted you to perform worship under the house. Do you know why? Because Bhagwan is higher than you are. Nobody should be walking above where you have invoked the presence of Bhagwan. Nobody. The old people, they will never entertain the thought of performing puja under the step. Because a step is made for foot traffic. And when it came to Bhagwan and God and prayers, you're not supposed to be wearing any footwear. And you're supposed to be grounded. And your foot is supposed to be clean. And the step is not considered to be a clean thing because your foot is touching it. And your foot take you everywhere. And all of the germs from everywhere you go follow you through your, once your foot is open. Did you know this? How can we disrespect Bhagwan? In the time of Raatri, we have 1 million murtis and pictures of the Devi everywhere. But did we go with a flower and a neem leaf to the Devi and say, Ma, I brought this for you? Did we do that? Did we light a diya? Whether you light a diya inside, whether you light a diya outside, whether you light your diya wherever you light a diya, the important thing is you lit a diya. Paying obeisance and making this offering to Bhagwan, asking that may I never be in darkness. Baba, you see that kind of thing? Me able. I will light 366 diya Diwali night. Why 366? Well, I light in one for Diwali night extra. So I don't have to light no more for the rest of the year. One time, I light all the diya. And then we wonder, why is life turbulent? Then we wonder, why am I only faced with trouble and challenges and situations and distress? Why? And then we say, We say, them even praying and them seeing their way. The bad thing is, you're not seeing when they're praying. That's what you are not seeing. You are not seeing how they pray. You're not seeing the devotion that they pray with. You can't see that because you're not looking for that. You're looking for material things. Today, she says, if I manifest as your daughter, anytime I'm mistreated, I will flee from your kingdom. And without even thinking, both of them, they agree. Sometimes we don't think about the conditions before us and we just agree. We grab on to anything. We hold on and we agree. Yes, We say yes. And so agreeing like this, what will happen? Something happens. Listen, it tells us. The divine goddess took her manifestation in the kingdom of Daksha Prajapati. And so what was her name? What was the name given to the Devi as she took her manifestation? Any idea? Any idea? What will be the name? Goddaughter, what is the name? Amy, what is the name? Dakshayani was the name given to her, for she was now the daughter of Daksha. Dakshayani was her name. But Dakshayani, from the minute that she could talk, there was only one thing coming out of her mouth. From the minute that she could speak, there was only one thing coming out of her mouth. What was that? What was the first word that your child spoke after birth? What was the first word you taught your children to say? I want to tell you, mothers, expecting mothers especially, that when the baby is born and the baby is brought to your bedside, you don't hold the baby and say, "Oh God, look your nose like your grandmother, oh, kuchi, kuchi." You don't look at the child and say, "Oh God, you're really born in the night. Oh, you're so dark." Huh? The first thing you're supposed to do from the time you see the child, in seriousness and with reverence and devotion, Om Bhur Bhuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarinyam Pargo Devasya Dhimai Dhyo Yona Prachodayat. It is the first thing that a child should be hearing from mother and father. That's why the child has two ears, and that's why the child has two parents, and that's why both parents must chant in the two ears of the child. Baba, me know how them children come out sooner. I just wonder if that is really my child, and if they switch him in the hospital. That's because when the time came to pray, you were doing something else. On the sixth day, when Lord Brahma and the divine goddess Adi Shakti comes to write the life of the child, you know what you're doing? You know what you're doing? What are you doing? On the 12th day, when the Devatas visit the home to bless the child, what are you doing? My grandson, you know, I'm going and have a barahi. And if the Devatas are coming to your home, then what kind of food should you prepare? When you're having a puja, what kind of food do you prepare? And then we say, me and know what really happened. Huh? I don't know, I really don't know. Sometimes I don't know too. And these things have great repercussions. Believe me when I tell you. That's why it is prescribed that you make halwa. Do you all know what is halwa? Halwa is lapsi, you know. Do you all know this? Halwa is lapsi. And in that halwa, because the house is considered to be sutta, and you are considered to be unclean, to purify this, you put hardi and masala and nutmeg and clove and spice. To purify this parsa that will be offered to the Devi, who will be called Shashti. The Devi is referred to as Shashti Devi. And who is she? She is Mata Saraswati. And who she comes with? She comes with Lord Brahma. He is not worshipped, but he accompanies her. And that's why, in an effort that nobody will see what is happening, the mother of the baby goes behind the door in the room to perform the ritual. Did you all know this? She goes behind the door. It specifies she goes behind the door because it is private. And when you are performing the worship, you know what will happen? You don't want any disturbances. For at that time, they're writing the name and the lineage and the legacy and the life of the child on the forehead. I had to go and see her buy a bearer for she, you know. There is a time for everything. Do you all know this? There is a time for everything. And anything done out of its time, then chances are the merits or the benefits out of it might not be pleasurable. Daksha, agreeing to this, she took this most beautiful form. But from the minute she could talk, what is she saying? Shiva, 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 Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Om Namah Shivaya. How much times today did you chant the name Om Namah Shivaya? How much times today did you chant the name Om Durga Divye Namaha? How much times today, a powerful day to Lord Hanuman, did you say Om Namo Hanumanta Namaha? How much times? How much times? And in the end, when all is said and all is done, it is only that will fuel your Atma, your soul, to traverse on its journey to the hereafter. But how much times did we make time to chant the name of Bhagwan? You had to bounce your toe to remember God. You had to slip and fall. Something untoward had to happen for you to think of Bhagwan, God. And to be reminded that there is a force greater than you that exists. And daily Bhagwan has to remind us, daily, continuously, over and over, every single day. Because we have forgotten. And when I say we, I mean even me too. All of us, every one of us, we have forgotten. We limit Bhagwan to the puja room. We limit Bhagwan to the puja. We limit Bhagwan to by the jhandi. And out of that, there is no God. Chanting Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. It says Daksha Prajapati and Purusuti, they were confused. And they couldn't understand why. So who they invited? They invited into their kingdom Narad Muni, the celestial sage. And why they invited him? They thought that something was wrong with her. So they wanted him to check and to see what was happening. As Narad Muni came to that place, Narad Muni, what will he say? Though he knows the right thing, he never says the right thing. Though he knows exactly what to say, he never says the right thing. And Narad Muni looks at Daksh Prajapati and he looks at Purusuti and he says, I think that your daughter, she'll become married. But you know what? I think she'll get married to me. Listen to what he's saying. I think she will grow up quickly and she'll get married. But she'll get married to me. And he's already an adult. And so hearing this, what will happen? Daksh Prajapati in awe, confused already, now even more confused, wonders what to do. And so, what will happen? Showing respect politely, Narad leaves, never to be invited again. Never to be invited again. And as Narad Muni leaves, what will happen? Something happens. Quickly the child begins to grow. And as the child begins to grow, chanting over and over the name Shiva, what will happen? Shambhu Mahadeva, Shiva Shambhu Mahadeva,
Shambhu Mahadeva, Shiva Shambhu Mahadeva,
O Shiva Hare Shambhu Mahadeva,
Shiva Hare Shambhu Mahadeva,
Mrityunjaya, Shiva Mrityunjaya,
Mrityunjaya, Shiva Mrityunjaya,
Mrityunjaya, Shiva Mrityunjaya,
Mrityunjaya, Shiva Mrityunjaya,
Gauri Priya Shankara, Shiva Gauri Priya Shankara, O Shiva Hare Gauri Priya Shankara. Sing with me everybody. Shiva 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 Shambhu, Hara 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 Shambhu. Bolo.
Shiva 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 Shambhu, Hara 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 Shambhu,
Shiva 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 Shambhu, Hara 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 Shambhu.
Shiva 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 Shambhu, Hara 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 Shambhu.
Quickly she grew up. And as she grew up, what will happen? नारद जी के महल का करने वाले उठने का शिवा कल्याण होते हैं। जिसने का समय का बीत गया करने शिवा, उसके का भक्ति दिन का बहुत गया उन्होंने का उसके करने वाले। टाकिया का लेखन केवल का शरीर करते हैं। अमीर का बंदूर का राजकुमारी का सुंदर का प्रसन्न होते। उसने का ने केवल का कैलाश का देवता का दानवों में महादेव का तीर करने वाले। It says, quickly she grew up. And growing up, what will happen? She had reached to the age of marriage. Daksha Prajapati did what all the other kings will do. Daksha Prajapati arranged a swayamvar. What is a swayamvar? What is a swayamvar? Have you ever heard that word before? That name before? A swayamvar. He created a swayamvar. Swayamvar means that he invited all of the princes of all the neighboring towns to come. And so sitting in a great gathering, Dakshayani will be given a mala. And while walking through this crowd, she has to choose which prince she will get married to. Holding this mala, she started walking to and fro, to and fro, to and fro, and all she is singing, Shiva, 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 Shambho, Hara, 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 Shambho. To answer. Husband, you ever call your wife by her next name? To answer. By some next lady's name? Wife, you ever call your husband by some other name? Somebody else's name? Let me ask an easier question. You ever call your children by somebody else's name? You're talking to one and calling the other one's name, isn't it? More relatable, isn't it? She's walking holding the mala, but she's only chanting Shiva, 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 Shambho, Hara, 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 Shambho. What will happen? Lord Shiva was not invited to come there. He was not there in the gathering. And so because he was not present there, what will she do? What could she do? What should she do? What choice did she have? We always have a, say that with me, we always have a, the choice is ours. In the Ramayana, Goswami Tulsidas ji writes, in golden words, you are free to choose, but you are never freed from the consequences that follow your choices. So when you choose, choose wisely. Choose intelligently. And holding this mala, not seeing her Shiva, what will happen? She begins to cry. Same kai tara jab bole, jale tan nabh mein madur swabole. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. जग की दुख संताप रे मनवा जब तुझको कर पाए, मोह माया की ज्योति बंधन जब तुझको भरमाए, जब नाम से होले होले हो Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Call his name with me, everybody. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Call his name. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. जग की दुख संताप रे मन. Who can I take my dukh? Who can I take all my unhappiness to? Who can I take all my troubles to? She's asking. Who can I possibly entrust my troubles with? Devi Mata is asking. Who can I take my dukh, my unhappiness to? Who can I express myself to? In Trinidad, there is a proverb that says, a listening ear is a running. Did you ever hear that before? A listening ear is a running. Oh, you all know. But we didn't only hear that. And that isn't only a proverb. That is a fact. Because we are all guilty of that. You didn't hear fast enough. You already told somebody. People entrust their private, confidential, personal business with you. And then you know what happens? What happens? The whole world knows. Everybody finds out. She's saying, who can I take my dukh, my unhappiness to? Who can I really take my sorrows to? She's asking and crying with tears in eyes. Sometimes when life becomes overbearing and the frustration becomes real in front of you and the frustration stands taller than you, you wonder, what can I do? What will I do? You feel outpowered. But remember, there is a force greater than your problem. There is a force greater than your trouble. There is a being who is waiting for you to bring that trouble. Who is that being? That being is Bhagwan. In whichever form you choose to. जग की दुख संताप रे मनवा जब तुझको तर पाए मोह माया की ज्योति बंधन जब तुझको भरवाए जपना मुख से होले होले ओ Namah Shivaya. Sing with me, everybody. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Namah Shivaya. Om 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 Namah Shivaya. Out of frustration, holding the mala and crying and not seeing Lord Shiva, becoming angry. Have you ever acted out of anger before? How do you act when you're angry? Hello? How do you act when you're... Auntie Chan? How do you act when you're angry? Auntie Ina? How do you act when you're angry? You stay quiet? We're not related. Cindy? How do you act when you're angry? Ria, how do you act when you're angry? I'll tell you, Ria disappears when she's angry. How do you act when you're angry? Prabhu, how do you act? Prabhu put his hand together. What does that mean? Sintra, how do you react when you're angry? Stay quiet, we're not related. It says, out of anger, she becomes angry. She takes the mala, and you know what she's going to do with it? What is she going to do with it? What do you think she's going to do with it? She takes the mala, and holding the mala, she flings it up in the air. And as she flings the mala up in the air, much to everybody's surprise, out of nowhere, Agarbam, 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 bam, bam, 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 agarbam, bam, bam, bola bajawe damaru, agarbam, bam, bam, bola bajawe
डमरू
अगर बम 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 भोला बजावे डमरू
अगर बम 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 भोला बजावे डमरू
बजावे डमरू 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 बजावे डमरू शिव बम 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 भोला बजावे डमरू
शिव बम 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 भोला बजावे डमरू
Taking the mala, she flings it up in the air out of anger, vexation. And Lord Shiva appears himself and the mala falls around his neck. But he doesn't just come there quietly. He comes there with noise and with bala and the damaru shaking and creating energy. And Daksh Prajapati and Purusuti looking at him. They asking themselves, who is he and who invite him? That's where we are told that when you have the puja and some random person shows up in front of your gate, chances are that is Bhagwan coming to test you. And Bhagwan comes and he says, give me some parsadna. And you say, I had to wait till the prayer is done. The little baby comes and says, Mommy, can I have the barfi? No, that's for God. You can't eat that. You can't juta. Mommy, I want one of the kurma. No, you can't eat the kurma. You so want to offer the kurma to Bhagwan first. And you so want to please Bhagwan, but you're displeasing the God in the child, in front of you begging. And not only that, you put the butter that have salt inside of it and give him Bhagwan here. And you ain't eating no salt, you fasting. And you think that you're creating this great impression in the eyesight of Bhagwan, God. This evening when they were passing the parsad, I passed by and I looked at the kurma. And seeing the kurma, I immediately took up one and I ate it. And it tastes good, so I took a next one. And that tastes good too, so I took a few more. And then my neighbor called and said, something smelling good. I said, put some kurma, and I gave it to the neighbor too. And then when I came back, I looked at them, I said, you know, what kind of butter did you use to make this kurma? And they say, well, and they called the brand. I said, is that saltless? And they say, well, now is a good time to ask. I said, because I'm fasting with no salt. Is this saltless? And they say, well, you're now thinking about that. After you eat a whole handful, now is a good time to figure if it's saltless or not. Spontaneously, spur of the moment. We don't give thought. But it is Bhagwan appearing in front of us to test us. And so, as the Lord Shiva appears there, and the damaru begins to shake, Daksha and Purusuti, they're confused. Who is he? Who is he? There are no amount of words to describe the resplendence of Lord Shiva. And so as Lord Shiva appears and the mala falls around his neck, what will happen? He comes down and holds the hand of Dakshayani. And holding the hand of Dakshayani, her name is now about to be changed. What is the name? Lord Shiva goes uninvited. Going uninvited. He is learning a lesson by the reaction that is being given to him. And so, what is the name of the Devi? The Devi's name is now changed from Dakshayani. And what name will they give to her? And what lesson will she teach us? Tomorrow evening we will listen to